Hello, my name's Tammy. I've gone by Tamalita since I started delving into the internet. I've been part of the internet since, pretty much the early days. 62-year-old female, retired. I've had different jobs. I was a professor for nearly 10 years, and I did graphic and web design for a little over 15. I still dabble in that. I worked in a fire department as the administrative assistant for almost 10 years, and now I'm retired. My husband and I left Idaho this year and moved to Hawaii. We're not rich by any means. We just had some good opportunities that came our way, and we live a very, very simple life here in Hawaii. I have, as I said, been part of the internet since the early days. I've been part of chat rooms and discussion groups, and I was an early adopter of Facebook. I have not really been active in social media for years. I don't know, I'm not a joiner, I'm not a active participant in social functions. And I find social media to be not good for my health. It seems hyper competitive and fake, and I don't like fake. So I have not really, other than joining Facebook, or I used to share a lot of pictures. I love to take photos, so I used to share a lot of pictures. But I just don't like the environment. I had a Twitter account, but never was a fan. And at this point, I absolutely abhor it. I never had a really good reason for participating in social media until now. So I, like so many of us, was devastated by the election and really didn't know what I could do. I still don't know that I have a lot to do. But I heard a podcast, I think, the other day. Mark Elias and had Molly Jung Fast on his podcast and talked about, she mentioned that if you have any type of intelligence with a liberal viewpoint, that you should do a podcast. So I don't think I'm going to do a podcast, but that was sort of all the motivation I needed to at least start participating in social media. I realized after the election that one of the main problems is the asymmetrical information sphere that we live in. And I don't know that I'm going to be coming up with my own content. My expertise is not politics or anything. I'm a scientist by training and profession. A nutritionist at that, gastrointestinal microbiologist. So, politics is not my thing. I learned more I think I'm like most Americans in that I really never paid attention. I never paid attention to politics. I voted in every presidential election, but I didn't pay attention to the issues. If anything, I voted on abortion. I voted on the right to have an abortion, and that would be my main issue. And I wouldn't pay attention to really anything else. So, I really had a lot of catching up to do. I started paying attention in 2016. I would say that election was the first election that I set out on, and I have regretted it ever since. But I started paying attention once Donald Trump got into office, and but I really started paying attention on this election, and I learned more about our government and our electoral process and our democracy than I knew my entire life. So I thought that the truth would prevail. And as a scientist, the truth and the search for the truth is always foremost in my mind. And I thought the truth would prevail, and I learned that it didn't. It wasn't even important to a large part of the country. So I don't know that I'm going to have a lot of, again, personal content, but I will do what I can to share the truth. And my hope is that more people become aware of the truth, and that people wake up and see what's happening. And hopefully we can get things going back in the correct direction. So that's a little bit longer of an introduction than I wanted, but there you go.